Ever since the diesel-fed CRVs were introduced last 2017, these oil-burning crossovers steadily gained in popularity. The Philippines loves its diesel-fed 7-seater SUVs, and the CRV banked on that preference. However, the 5-seater gasoline CRV is still locally available, serving as the base model. In this video, we check out the forgotten child of the CRV lineup and see if it still offers a good value for money. Let's do this! Hello guys, I'm Reagan and welcome back to another car review. If you're new to my channel, I hope you click that subscribe button for your regular dose of Philippine automotive content. If you're my subscriber already, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Oh yeah, and click that like button. Also, special thanks to Honda Cars Manila for providing the Honda CRV 2.0S to do this review. If you are within the area and you have a need for a Honda, head on down here to Honda Cars Manila and check them out. For any inquiries, you may also contact the person in my pinned comment below. The Honda CRV started its life in 1995 as a 5-seater gasoline-powered crossover that's based off the Civic platform. This popular SUV continued to be sold ever since then, and we're now on its 5th generation. Now, the Honda CRV 2.0S still serves as the local base model with a retail price of 1,678,000 Philippine pesos. Now, that's only a 35,000 peso price difference from the base diesel CRV. So let's see if this gasoline-powered CRV even makes any sense. The CRV 2.0S may serve as the local lineup's base model, but when it comes to its exterior looks and features, there's nothing base about this car. It gets the same redesigned front bumper here that's similar to its diesel siblings, and we also have the full LED headlight system and LED fog lights that can be found even in the top-spec Honda CRV SX all-wheel drive. Now, I'm happy to see that despite being a base model, this CRV 2.0S doesn't shortchange you when it comes to its exterior looks and its features. Now, the side profile of the Honda CRV 2.0S will not be complete if it didn't have any chrome, and even in this base model, well, it obliges in that regard. We have a chrome strip that's mounted right here on top of your black plastic cladding. Now, the good news here is even this base variant gets power folding side mirrors with LED turn signals, and we even have a pair of roof rails that are mounted up top. Now, for the wheels and tires, this base CRV gets the same wheel and tire setup as the top-spec CRV SX all-wheel drive. We have 18-inch alloys here, and these wheels are wrapped in 235/60 R18 tires. Behind these wheels, we get the same mechanical bits as the other CRVs in the lineup. We have 4-wheel disc brakes here, and for your suspension, we have a MacPherson setup in the front and an independent multi-link rear suspension at the back. Now, the ground clearance of the CRV 2.0S is 198 millimeters, which is a little bit lower than the CRV SX all-wheel drive, but it is still perfectly serviceable. The rear end of the CRV 2.0S gets a few changes with its mild refresh. The LED taillights are now smoked, and we lose that rear skid plate here, and instead we get this matte gunmetal trim that can be found on the rear bumper. Now, I like this smoked effect on the LED taillights because it makes the CRV look a bit sportier. Now, when you pop open the manual liftgate, you'll see one of the biggest advantages of the 5-seater CRV versus its 7-seater diesel counterparts. It has tons more cargo space. You see, we get 522 liters of cargo capacity here, which is good enough for 3 medium-sized luggage and a 4th one on top of the 3 luggage. So that makes the CRV 2.0S a great companion for somebody who likes to carry a lot of stuff. The Honda CR-V 2.0S is powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated gasoline engine that puts out 152 horses and 189 Newton meters of torque. Now the power is sent to the front wheels via a CVT transmission. Now those torque figures are not as robust as its diesel siblings, but it's still good enough to perform most of its regular duties. Just don't try to, tow a house or something like that. Honda has always given the CRV a nice and premium cabin, and even in this base model CRV 2.0S, well, it can also boast of the same premium cabin. We get leather seats here despite being a base model, but the seats have to make do with manual adjustments, which really isn't a big issue. Now the steering wheel is also leather wrapped, and we also have cruise control here, plus buttons for hands-free connectivity. Now, I was surprised to see a pair of paddle shifters here because this CRV 2.0S has a CVT transmission, but I'm not complaining, guys. I will take those paddle shifters. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the steering wheel also adjusts for tilt. Let me just check it. Where is that? Oh, there you are. Oh, there it is. It also adjusts for tilt, and it also telescopes. So that's a good thing. And when you look at the instrument gauge cluster of the CRV 2.0S, you'll see that it's the same familiar colored, fully digital instrument gauge cluster that most Honda owners are already familiar with. So yeah, if you've been driving a Honda for several years now, you know that Honda loves its digital instrument gauge cluster. Now, when you move over to the infotainment system, we get here a smallish 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system, but at least it has Apple CarPlay, it has Android Auto, and it also has a reverse camera. Now, I would have loved to see a 360-degree view camera here because the CRV's competitors are already giving that, but at least the reverse camera is still quite clear and serviceable. Now, when you go down from the infotainment system, you have here a dual-zone automatic climate control system. And moving down further, we have the biggest difference in the cabin of the CRV 2.0S versus its diesel siblings. You get an actual gear shifter right here. Now, the diesel CRVs in the country get buttons for your shifting, so maybe it's just the Tito in me, guys, but I prefer to have an actual live gear shifter here. Thank you very much again. Now, we also have an electronic parking brake here with a brake hold feature, and we have a couple of cup holders here, which we can subject to my clean canteen test. If I had my clean canteen, you see, somebody forgot his clean canteen. So yeah, we can't do the clean canteen test because the clean canteen is not here, but because the CRV is a global model, I'm pretty sure that it would pass my clean canteen test. But we'll never really know in this video. Now, when you look at the entire cabin of this CRV 2.0S, you'll see that you're surrounded by nice and premium materials. We get leather on the dashboard, we get leather on the door cards, we get a lot of soft touch materials here. We have some plastics at the bottom part, but these are also good quality plastics. But we only have like this matte aluminum trim or silver trim and this tiny glossy black strip there. So the design of the cabin is a little bit too business-like, a little bit too drab and somber. You know, some people might like to have some color inside their cabins, but well, the CRV is straightforward business black. Now, the good thing here though is the fit and finish is really tight. You see, the CRV has been around for 2 decades, and man, Honda has already perfected their formula when it comes to fit and finish. We may only get seating for 5 passengers here, but man, this back seat is super spacious. I'm 5'6", guys, and this is my driving position, and I get a whopping 9 inches. I repeat, 9 inches of knee room here, and a good 7 inches of headroom. Now, 3 adults could comfortably sit here at the back seat of the CRV, and they would be super comfortable because we get a ton of amenities here at the back. We've got a couple of rear AC vents here, a couple of USB charging ports. We even have a center armrest, and it also has 2 cup holders. So this, my friends, is what I call a fully spec'd back seat. Alright guys, so we're now driving the Honda CRV 2.0S, And CRVs have always been good and easy drivers, and this base model gasoline variant is no exception. The whole overall visibility is really good. I got a good forward visibility and good sideways visibility as well. The ride height, well, the seating position of this car is pretty tall, but the ride height isn't really that much. So it's a good combination of feeling like you're driving a sedan, but at the same time with a commanding view of a crossover. The steering feel of the CRV 2.0S is also light and pretty artificial. That being said, it's gonna be quite easy to maneuver this thing when you're going around the mall parking area because of that light steering. But forget about doing like spirited canyon carving in this thing, because the CRV's steering response is really meant more for a relaxed drive. Alright, we have a nice open road ahead of us. Let's try the acceleration of this thing. Alright, so in the acceleration department, well, the CVT of the CRV 2.0S rears its ugly head. You see, we still get that CVT lag and that CVT drone. As I try to accelerate from standstill, well, we could hear the engine noise inside the cabin, but it's not translating to speed, guys. So yeah, in normal mode, you gotta just give it some smooth throttle inputs, because it doesn't really matter if you mash on the pedal. This thing will not accelerate for you. Now let's try it in sport mode. We're going out to the open road here. Sport mode. Okay. Yep, please cross. Thank you. Alright, again, sport mode. Okay, so we're in sport mode now, and yeah, the response, acceleration response was a tad bit better, but really not much. I couldn't really tell the difference between the normal mode and the sport mode, to be perfectly honest, guys. So yeah, there's still that lag, there's still that drone. Yeah, so the CRV isn't really meant to be a sprinter. Let's try it again. Yeah, see, it's having a difficult time building speed, mainly because of that CVT transmission. Now, most people who are looking at the gasoline CRV are mostly worried about the fuel consumption of this thing, especially since the first generation CRV was a bit of a gas guzzler. However, it seems that Honda's already fixed that issue, because in the city, this thing can go up to around 9 kilometers per liter in a little bit heavy city driving. If it clears up, well, you can go up to 12 kilometers per liter, which is quite decent. Now, in highway driving though, this can go up to 19 kilometers per liter, which for a gasoline-powered vehicle is pretty good. When it comes to the NVH and the cabin comfort of this thing, well, the CRV also shines. This is pretty much already a premium compact crossover, so you could expect that its NVH would be stellar, and you will be right. You see, we don't get too much environment noise coming into the cabin, and the suspension also absorbs the bumps and uneven roads pretty well. So that is also another plus point for the Honda CRV 2.0S. Look at the traffic that we have to contend with here in Metro Manila. But anyway, guys, well, the Honda CRV 2.0S is still a comfortable runabout vehicle. That's why it's called a CRV. For people who want a dependable compact crossover coming from the giant car maker, which is Honda. So, does the Honda CRV 2.0S even make any sense, especially when you compare it against its diesel-powered siblings? Well, I must say, guys, the odds are stacked up against it, especially here in the Philippines, where diesel-powered vehicles are still the king. But if you're looking for a gasoline-powered crossover that is dependable, easy to drive, and offers you tons of space, well, the Honda CRV 2.0S is still a compelling choice. Thanks for watching.